Hello, today we'll be talking about Riko Chiaki from Magia Records, so let's begin. Riko Chiaki is an 11-year-old support-type magical girl. She is 144 centimeters in height, her eyes are blue, and her hair is black. Riko comes from Kosho Ward in Kamehama City. Her soul gem in her magical girl form is a blue circle located in the form of a barrette holding her triangular bandana. Her weapon is a giant bento pick with a tropical orange design. Her wish to become a magical girl was for a girl she knew to be able to marry a boy who lived in a different ward, Dende. I want Big Sister to get married. Her witch and doppel is Yuerao. Her known relatives are her mother and father and an unnamed who go unnamed, and she has a pet dog who is named Mamenji. Reiko attends Kosho Academy in the 5th grade. Her magical element is the light element, and her ability is called Calling Out. Reiko is like a little sister to other magical girls. She is often can be found working at her parents' bento shop, and is a warming present for the customers. Though still quite young, she is considerate to her elders and has a remarkable work ethic. The Doppel of Dread Reeling. Its form is a moonlit matchmaker. The master of this emotion does not acknowledge that this Doppel lurks within her heart. It appears under a thick sheet of ice that it spreads under her feet. When attacking, it switches places with its master, trapping her beneath the ice, and reels in all interpersonal connections to steal them. It tries to collect all those she has formed in an attempt to restore things to their original state. But cut connections only sink to the bottom of the ice. The more the master uses this double, the more feelings that she has given up on become dredged up and despaired. Riko's family's bento shop is always busy, and while they love her, her parents had no choice but to have their neighbor's daughter babysit her. Riko's childhood memories are mostly spending time with this Shirley and kind elder sister, who teaches her homework, gives her gifts when she performs well or during festivals, and takes her out to play. They are as close as sisters. As Riko grows older, she begins helping at her home shop. But since her parents often need to work overtime, Sis still took care of her at night when she returned home first. One day, Riko noticed Sis had a puffy red eyes, but she refused to share her troubles, but still took good care of her as usual. A few days later, as Riko is helping out at the shop, she hears Sis and her father arguing at the metal shop they own. That night, she managed to pry from Sis the reason. She is about to marry far away from the district, and her father, who is worried for her, refused to accept it, which is a sudden change of attitude since he was approving of the relationship this whole time. Sis is sad that her beloved father refuses to trust her judgment. Reiko wants to help, but has no idea how to. Later that night, Cube visits Riko and manages to have her make a wish, in which everybody will give her blessings to Sis. Marriage. It works, and Sis is happily married and moves out of the district. In the present, Riko realizes that she is very lonely without Sis, and not even her pet dog nor magic Kiren can ease the loneliness and fear she has when waiting at home for her parents to come home. Rationally, she can understand her parents are working hard for a living, but as a grade school kid, she can't accept this reality. One day, Reiko's parents have to work overtime again and send her home first. After finishing her homework, Reiko goes out for a witch hunting and is dismayed that her parents are still not back at 22:30 after her easy victory. She decides to help set their futons so they can rest after a hard day's work. They call back and explain that they can only return after midnight due to the huge order placed by Tusaka's dad, since he wants to advertise their good food to his customers visiting the next day to expand their market. They promise to take Reiko out after the huge order and have a family outing. Years spent during being lonely and emotions that have stacked up make Reiko snap, and she calls her parents liars since they have made many promises before and broken them all the time. She said they were never there for her like Sis was, and claims that she hates them, hanging the phone up at the same time. Reiko goes witch hunting to vent stress. While she manages to win, she almost dies since the witch was stronger than expected. She realized that no one will be there to comfort her in the future, and she will have to face her troubles and problems alone, and gets crushed by despair and helplessness, even thinking she should take no time to wish so Sis would still be with her. Take a disciple of Tusaka's dad notices that crying Reiko and tries to comfort her and bring her home, but his methods frighten the poor girl since she thinks he is a creep and is trying to sexually assault her. Tusaka comes to the rescue and scolds, takes his since he is delaying their work. Consumed with fear and loneliness, Reiko confesses to Tusaka, a regular at her shop, about how she feels and the affair with Sis. Speaking from experience, Tusaka thinks being separated is no excuse for breaking contact, since it is easy to do so if you have the heart. She recommends Reiko to speak to Sis on the issue and escorts Reiko home after seeing her accepting her advice. Reiko mentions Sis and falls asleep from exhaustion at home. Her father carried her back to bed when they came home after work. The next day, Reiko receives Sis's prompted reply. She explains that she wanted to contact Reiko and visit her as well, but she left home after arguing with her father, and even though he eventually gave his blessings, she is still not sure how to face him yet, and thinks it will be awkward if they meet when she visits Reiko. Another reason she cannot visit is because she has been hospitalized and is only out today. She visits Reiko over instead. Reiko asks her permission to visit Sis, but she thinks they will not give it since they are too busy to bring her out. Sis is married and lives in another district, and it's too far for a grade schooler to make the trip. However, her parents give the permission as they sincerely apologize to Reiko for making her feel lonely and promise to make it up to her for the real this time. The next day, they visited Sis at her place, and she introduced her husband and her baby daughter to them. She was hospitalized since she had gave birth, and she hopes Reiko can get along with her daughter, just like how she got along with her. Reiko fondly remembers how Sis was always there for her, and makes a promise to herself that she will be a good sister for this child, just like how Sis was for her. She looks forward to the day when she can eat her bento in her shop's bento, and aims to grow into such a fine lady. Not much of Reiko's ability is known of what it can do. We only know its name is calling out. This could mean like calling out to someone or something. Her first name, Reiko, means reason and child, while her last name, Chiaki, means thousand and autumn respectfully. Fact 1. Her illustrator is Riko no Erika, who also did the illustration for Sei Kirino, another Magio record magical girl. Fact 2. Her doppel's name, Yuerao, is derived from the god of marriage and love, Yuerao in Chinese, while her doppel's shape is Gekohihyojin, meaning Iceman under the moon. This is a Japanese version of Yuerao's full name. I might butcher this, but here we go. Yu Shao La Rin, meaning old man under the moon. Fact 3. Tempura is a Japanese cooking style that can be summarized as a technique of saute and simmer. It is commonly used to cook root vegetables such as a carrot, gumbo, and lotus root, seaweeds such as urami and hijiki, and other foods including tofu and wheat gudlin, and even meat. The dish features the use of soy sauce and mirin, as well as often silver chili peppers. Fact 4. The mame in her dog's name, Meiji, is a homophone of both the Japanese words for beans and loyal. And fact 5. Riko's voice actor is Hikaru Akao, who you may know in different roles as Valkyrie Magelda in Seven Deadly Sins Grand Cross, Ryose Hirozuzunagi in the Assault Lily series, and Lulin Lily in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? Sword Oratoria. And that's Riko Chiaki. Next time I'll be talking about Maria Yuki, a caretaker magical girl with a toy puppet attack. So see you next time.